Good evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to make a review of Neon Fright's Ghoulia, and I happened to get a perfect one from Target. But instead, I am going to talk about prototypes yet again. I love getting to see the G3 prototypes just because it's so much fun to see what might have been, what could have been, you know, just everything along those lines. And we've actually seen quite a few G3 prototypes already, but there had been a couple that we had not yet seen in full. For example, we have yet to see a full Clawdeen prototype until today. Today we got to see one. The dollyolds posted a bunch of prototypes, and we also got some leaked. I don't actually know who the leaker was. I know that the account's allmhdata, and of course the runner of Monster High prototypes on Instagram, dollsfordessert, posted Ghoulia and Toralei, but I'm not actually sure who the leaker behind that was. Those are just the accounts that I saw post it, so credits to them, I suppose. I'm not actually sure who the leaker is. If you guys know, feel free to let me know. But, yeah, lots to talk about, so let's get right into it. So we're going to start with Ghoulia and Toralei, just because these are the first images that I saved, and I figure it makes sense to start with what was leaked earliest in the day. So yeah, these are the first times we've ever gotten to this. This is the first time? These are the first times? Well, I guess it is plural, because it's the first time for each character we've gotten to see their full prototype. We did get to see part of Toralei's from that really weird Monster High website. It was a very strange website. There was a Deuce prototype on there too, but we still haven't seen a full prototype of him. He remains the only character from the original 8 lineup that we have not seen a full prototype of. But yeah, now we've got Toralei and Ghoulia to look at. So I figure we'll start with Toralei. You guys know she's my favorite, and we've seen this one before, so I don't have as much to say about her. I do still love the side glance, and I genuinely would love to see that be reused at some point. If any people who work at Mattel happen to be viewing this video, heed my words. If you make it side glance Toralei, I will buy your entire stock. You will be swimming in revenue for the rest of your lives because I will spend all of my money on Toralei. I don't actually have that much money, so please don't do it anytime soon. But if you want to make a side glance Toralei, just know I will be your #1 customer. So another detail about Toralei is that she does actually have separate socks here, and her tail is painted. The tip of her tail is painted, and she seems to have more stripes on her body. It looks like she has them on each thigh, like her outer thigh, and she also... it seems to be on both sides of her legs as well. I don't know, but the tip of her tail is painted brown as well, which is something that has never been a part of her design and would have been completely new. Similar to the stripes on her forehead. One thing I still don't like about this prototype, though, is the pink lips, and I'm very glad that that did not happen. And her skin is more on the yellow side here, and not the orange tone that she's known for. But honestly, if this Toralei had been the one that released, I probably would have defended her, so I'm a hypocrite to criticize her. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about her. The separate socks would have been nice, though. I always thought it was weird that she has, like, molded on socks on her shoes. Yeah, it would have been nice for them to be a separate piece. As for Ghoulia, this doll has a significantly nicer face. It's just a lot better. Her eyebrows are still brown and look weird with her hair color, not to mention her green skin tone, but something about her face doesn't look as egregious. I think it might be the darker lipstick. I really think that darker pink helps a lot better than the lighter pink that they went with. And she also seems to have a bit of a side glance going on. Like, I don't know, I feel like she's looking off to the left. And again, I feel like that helps her. Her original face kind of just has a very blank stare. Like, there's absolutely nothing going through her head. So, yeah. The doll also features just a slightly nicer outfit. I mean, she still has the skirt with the horrible zipper. That's, like, my least favorite piece that Monster High G3 has put out. So, yeah, it's a bit of a bummer to see that she always had that. But it does also come with its positives, this outfit as a whole, I mean, not the skirt, because she's got a hoodie instead of a beanie. And I think a hoodie is nicer. It's definitely cuter than a beanie. Not to mention her glasses are different. These almost look like her original, like sculpt. Like her G1 glasses. It almost looks like the same, like, cat eye frames, you know? I don't know. But yeah, overall, these two are interesting. It's actually more interesting to me just how little they changed from... well, I guess in Toralei's case, the changes were more major, but it's just interesting because they look so similar to their final products. mostly in the outfit for Toralei, because everything else looks pretty different, except for her face sculpt. I do notice that both of these dolls seem to have the exact same face sculpts, it's just the paint on them that changed. So, basically, if this Toralei prototype is out there anywhere, I will find her and I will own her if it's the last thing that I do. So, yeah, just heed my words, I guess. It's a prophecy. So onto the main ghouls, we also have some better photos of Laguna and Cleo now. These are definitely the clearest photos we've gotten to see of them, and it's kind of nice to have a clearer look at them. I'll admit, for a while, I thought this picture of Laguna was photoshopped. Like, something about her just didn't look real to me. But, yeah, this confirms that everything in the photo of Laguna is real. And it's the same for Cleo, but I never suspected Photoshop there. I still really like this Cleo prototype, and I would love to see this outfit happen at some point. It's just a very nice outfit. I like it, you know? I think it would be really nice for them to make it, because that's how she looks in the show. So I just feel like a show-accurate Cleo, just like one release where she has that outfit, would like satisfy that urge, that desire, you know? As for Laguna, I don't want to see any part of this doll ever again. Except for the starfish earrings. Those are cute. I also like the individual clips. It would have been cute if she came with 4 clips like that. But, yeah, just not a big fan of this Laguna prototype. I mean, I feel like she looks a little less weird here, but the shade of blue just doesn't work with the color scheme that they wanted her to have. You know? That's just my opinion, though. As for Cleo, I really like her face. It's basically just the same face that she ended up having, but with a different outfit and a hairstyle that I like more. So that's why I like this Cleo prototype. And now we're on to the big 3. I call this one the big 3 because this is our first ever Clawdeen prototype. This is the first one we've gotten to see. And it seems like they wanted to give her poly hair from the start. Yeah, so Clawdeen's prototype isn't very different from the final product. And it's kind of the same for Frankie, because they have a very similar outfit to what they ended up with, like with the jacket and the prosthetic leg. Like, there's a couple aspects of Frankie, even the hairstyle, that seem to have stuck with their design. Meanwhile, with Draculaura, she is completely different, you know? Like, Draculaura's final design versus this prototype are night and day. They're very different. Like, just every single part of her is different except for the hair colors, basically. The split dye is the only thing that remained consistent. So, this prototype is different from this one. They have completely different faces, and I prefer this one's face. I just like this face a lot. I think it's cute. This one isn't for me. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of this Draculaura face. I like this Clawdeen face, and this Frankie face sculpt isn't bad, but I do much prefer the finalized Frankie face sculpt. As for Clawdeen, I think I prefer this face. For this new, like, sportier version of Clawdeen, not to say she wasn't sporty before, because she was, but Clawdeen was also mostly known for being a fashionista in G1, whereas this Clawdeen in G3 seems to be more of a sporty gal instead of a fashionista. Just an observation. I feel like I'm being mean. It's a doll. It doesn't have feelings. So, yeah, basically I am just saying words and you are listening to them. We also got this Draculaura prototype, which seems to be a crude combination of this outfit with this face. Like, that's what I'm seeing here. It almost looks like they photoshopped the face onto the other photos. But this is a different photo. The doll is posed differently. This one is standing facing forward, you can tell by the shoes, and this one is posed facing the side. So, it has to be a different doll that they dressed up. Although she does kind of look like she's wearing a wig. I don't know, something looks photoshopped here to me. But it does say preliminary, so maybe it is photoshopped? I don't know. But this is more of a mock-up of what the doll would have came with. And I'll admit, this is a bit of a loss because it looks like we weren't going to have a million food accessories before. We were just going to have one, and we were going to get a card, Draculaura would have had an umbrella, and she would have had a very cute coffin purse. And she still would have come with a cape and sunglasses. And her hat. This would have been awesome getting this much stuff. I'm not complaining that much because I'm not, like, unhappy with what we ended up with, but seeing what could have been, you know, it's like, man, we could have got those cute little ID cards. Draculaura. I'm good at talking. Draculaura could have come with an umbrella. I wonder what everybody else would have come with, you know? So yeah, overall this is just a very interesting photo. It's just I really would have liked to get those ID cards. Those are so cute. I really hope they reuse that idea at some point. So these are all the prototypes that we got to see today. I'll admit I wish this photo of Ghoulia and Toralei was a little more clear, just like I could see them better, but I'm not like upset with it. I'm just happy we get to see this at all. From what I've heard, a lot of these photos were found on like a designer's portfolio. So yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing that this photo and this photo were the ones found on the portfolio. Probably this one too. I don't know where this one was found. Again, it's in kind of low quality, so I'm thinking it's some kind of leak. I don't know if it was on somebody's portfolio or what, but we got to see it, and I'm happy. I like seeing Toralei. I'm very, very normal about Toralei. Yes, very. Again, I hope we get an outfit like this for Cleo at some point, and I don't know. I guess I like Frankie's darker color scheme here. It looks good on them. Though, something odd is that their body is gray. Like, I meant to touch on it when I first put this photo on the screen, but I totally forgot to say it. Frankie's body is gray here. Like, their body is fully gray, but their head is still blue. It's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know if maybe they were intending to, similar to most fan redesigns of Frankie, because I don't know if you guys, like, look at, like, fan redesigns, but a lot of the time when people redesign Frankie, they like to, like, give Frankie, like, different colored skin, like, in different segments that are stitched. Like, for example, from the stitch on their, it's not their thigh, the stitch on their calf, like, from that area downward, maybe it would be green, and from the area upward, it would be, like, a lighter or darker shade of green, you know? Like, maybe that's what they were planning to do. Maybe that's why the body was gray here. I don't know. It could have been an interesting concept, but we just ended up with blue Frankie, which I'm not upset with. I like blue Frankie a lot. I'm like G3 Frankie's biggest fan, I can't lie to you guys. I really hope that we'll get to see these prototypes again someday. We got to see Draculaura, but we haven't gotten to see Frankie and Clawdeen from this photo in full. And I really want to see this Frankie. I need to know what was going through their minds when they created this creature. I'm sorry, I really don't like this Frankie prototype. They scare me. But, yeah, I'd really like to see these two someday in full. If we're gonna get any other prototypes leaked sometime soon, I really want it to be these two. So, yeah, with everything that I've said, we're gonna call it here. I love talking about prototypes. I honestly could do it all day, but I'm just gonna let you guys go now. I'm just gonna let you guys walk away with knowledge in your minds of prototypes. I am very bad at saying words. Okay. Yeah, overall, I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say, so feel free to leave comments. I'm going to read every single one of them. And yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, I hope to see you in my next one.